Asia has witnessed some of the most catastrophic natural disasters in human history. With its massive landmass, diverse geography, and dense population, the continent is vulnerable to a wide range of destructive forces, from devastating floods and earthquakes to powerful cyclones and tsunamis. These disasters have not only claimed millions of lives, but have also shaped the course of history in the affected regions, leaving behind a legacy of resilience and rebuilding. In this video, we'll take a look at 12 of the worst natural disasters that have struck Asia, from deadly cyclones that have wiped out entire villages to earthquakes that have reduced cities to rubble. These events stand out not only for their immense death tolls, but also for their profound impact on local communities and economies. Natural disasters are unpredictable, and their effects are often far-reaching. Asia's history is a testament to this, as time and time again, its people have had to rise from the ashes of destruction. As we go through this list, we'll revisit these moments of tragedy, honor the lives lost, and explore the lasting marks these disasters left on the continent. Now let's begin our journey through some of the most significant and devastating natural disasters Asia has ever experienced. Stay with us as we recount the stories of survival, loss, and resilience that have emerged from these catastrophic events. Our journey begins with the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, a monumental disaster that unfolded on December 26th, triggered by a massive undersea earthquake measuring between 9.1 and 9.3 off the coast of Indonesia. This tsunami unleashed devastating waves that impacted multiple countries, including Thailand, Sri Lanka, and India. The sheer scale of destruction was unimaginable, as coastal communities were swallowed by towering waves, leaving over 230,000 people dead. The scale of this disaster was a wake-up call to the world, highlighting the need for better tsunami warning systems and disaster preparedness. Next, we turn to the 1970 Bola cyclone, which struck East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, and West Bengal, India, on November 13th. Known as the deadliest tropical cyclone in recorded history, this devastating storm caused extensive flooding and destruction, claiming the lives of an estimated 300,000 to 500,000 individuals. The cyclone's impact was felt deeply, leading to widespread suffering and economic turmoil in the region. The disaster underscored the vulnerability of coastal communities and prompted significant changes in disaster management practices. Moving further back in history, we encounter the 1931 China floods, a calamity that unfolded between July and November. The floods were a result of continuous rainfall that overwhelmed the Yangtze, Yellow, and Huai rivers. This disaster is considered the deadliest natural disaster in recorded history, with death toll estimates ranging from 1 million to 4 million people. Entire towns were submerged and millions were left homeless. The government's response to the floods, which included inadequate infrastructure and poor management, only exacerbated the situation, leading to a humanitarian crisis that lasted for years. The 1887 Yellow River flood marks our next tragedy, occurring in September. This catastrophic event unfolded as the Yellow River breached its banks, resulting in one of the deadliest floods in history. Estimates suggest that between 900,000 and 2 million lives were lost. The floods devastated vast agricultural areas, causing not just immediate loss of life, but long-term impacts on the livelihood of millions. The aftermath led to significant social and political changes, as the government struggled to respond effectively to the needs of those affected. Now let's look at a more recent disaster, the 2008 Sertur Sichuan earthquake, which struck on May 12th with a magnitude of 7.9. This earthquake was particularly devastating, claiming the lives of around 87,000 individuals and displacing millions. The disaster also triggered massive landslides, further complicating rescue efforts. In the wake of this tragedy, the Chinese government undertook extensive rebuilding initiatives focusing on infrastructure improvements and disaster preparedness to mitigate future risks. As we reflect on these tragedies, we see the undeniable resilience of those affected. Each disaster not only reshaped the physical landscape, but also transformed communities and prompted significant changes in disaster response strategies. In the next part, we will continue our journey through Asia's worst natural disasters, highlighting more events that have left a lasting impact on the continent and its people. Continuing our exploration, we come to the 2013 Typhoon Haiyan, known locally as Yolanda. This catastrophic storm struck the Philippines on November 8th, with ferocious winds and torrential rain making it one of the strongest tropical cyclones ever recorded. Typhoon Haiyan caused immense destruction, particularly in the city of Tacloban, where entire neighborhoods were obliterated, over 6,000 lives were lost, and millions were left homeless as infrastructure crumbled under the force of the storm. The response to Haiyan involved both local and international efforts, emphasizing the need for improved disaster preparedness and resilience in vulnerable regions. Next on our list is the 1991 Bangladesh cyclone, also known as Cyclone Gorky, which struck on April 29th. This Category 5 cyclone brought with it storm surges that inundated coastal areas, resulting in a staggering death toll of approximately 138,000 people. The cyclone caused widespread devastation, destroying homes, crops, and critical infrastructure. In the wake of this disaster, significant advancements were made in cyclone preparedness and early warning systems in Bangladesh, demonstrating how communities can adapt and improve their resilience in the face of such threats. Now we turn to the 1923 Great Kanto earthquake, which struck Japan on September 1st. With a magnitude of 7.9, this earthquake was one of the deadliest in Japan's history, leading to extensive damage in Tokyo and Yokohama. It is estimated that around 140,000 people lost their lives, many due to the fires that broke out in the aftermath. The Great Kanto earthquake forced Japan to reevaluate its disaster response and building codes, ultimately leading to improvements that have helped mitigate the impact of future earthquakes. As we delve further, we encounter the 1990 Manjil-Rudbar earthquake, which occurred on June 20th in northern Iran. This devastating event registered a magnitude of 7.4 and resulted in the loss of approximately 50,000 lives. The earthquake caused significant destruction, displacing over 500,000 people and leaving many without shelter. The event highlighted the need for better earthquake preparedness and response strategies in regions prone to seismic activity. Next, we focus on the 2005 Kashmir earthquake, which struck on October 8th with a magnitude of 7.6. This earthquake devastated northern Pakistan and India-administered Kashmir, claiming the lives of more than 85,000 individuals. Entire villages were flattened, and the infrastructure damage was catastrophic. The international community rallied to provide assistance, but the challenges of delivering aid in the mountainous terrain were daunting. This disaster underscored the importance of preparedness and rapid response in the face of natural calamities. Next, we turn to the 2015 Nepal earthquake, also known as the Gorkha earthquake. Occurring on April 25th, this seismic event measured 7.8 on the Richter scale. Nearly 9,000 people lost their lives, and many historical buildings, including UNESCO World Heritage Sites, were severely damaged or destroyed. The earthquake triggered landslides that hindered rescue efforts, revealing vulnerabilities in both urban planning and disaster response. In its aftermath, Nepal has focused on rebuilding and restoring its cultural heritage while improving earthquake preparedness measures. As we move forward in our exploration, these natural disasters reveal not only the profound impacts on human lives, but also the enduring spirit of resilience that communities demonstrate in the face of adversity. In the next part, we will conclude our journey through Asia's worst natural disasters, reflecting on their lasting legacies and the lessons learned. We also reflect on the Indian famine of 1876 to 1878, a tragic event exacerbated by severe drought and mismanagement. This famine swept through southern and western India, leading to an estimated 5.5 million deaths. The combination of environmental factors and colonial policies created a perfect storm of suffering. This disaster underscored the critical need for effective agricultural practices and policies that prioritize the well-being of vulnerable populations. These disasters remind us of the profound impacts that natural events can have on human lives, economies, and societies. As we prepare to conclude our exploration, it is essential to reflect on how these historical events have shaped disaster response and preparedness strategies across Asia. In the next part, we will wrap up our discussion, highlighting the lessons learned and the ongoing efforts to build resilience against future natural disasters. As we conclude our exploration of the 12 worst natural disasters in Asia, it's important to highlight the broader implications these events have had on disaster management and community resilience across the continent. Lastly, it's vital to remember the ongoing challenges that communities across Asia face. Natural disasters continue to threaten lives and livelihoods, exacerbated by factors such as climate change, urbanization, and population density. Governments and organizations are increasingly recognizing the importance of community-based disaster risk reduction efforts, which focus on empowering local populations to prepare for and respond to disasters effectively. In closing, the history of natural disasters in Asia is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of its people. Each disaster not only represents a moment of tragedy, but also serves as a catalyst for change and improvement in disaster preparedness and response. By learning from the past, we can work towards a safer, more resilient future for all communities across the continent. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Asia's natural disasters, and may we continue to learn and grow in the face of nature's challenges.